gonna check me, boo? The life coach. Kill the music. Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or fuck discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video. We here to discuss Real Housewives of Atlanta season 14, episode 7. Who gonna check me, boo? Sheree'S, the life coach, is gonna check you, fat. And he did. He did it in a calm way. He checked you in a calm way, but he checked you. But let's get into the episode. The episode opens up. Drew is arriving at the doggone dinner when everybody's ready to sit down and eat. So Drew finally arrives. Everybody's looking like, why the hell is she here? We didn't think she was coming. And Sonya goes to greet her and was like, listen, I'm really happy that you decided to come, girl. For real. Like, I really wanted to talk to you, so I'm glad that you came. Fine. So they sit down, girl. They starting to eat dinner, and Sonya brings up the fact that they had the dirty wine contest earlier, and now she's gonna announce the winner. But the winner is gonna get to hold her gold medalist or wear it or whatever the case may be. Drew gets in her confessional and was like, girl, this is a reach. Like, we don't see Kenya bringing her Miss America crowns or Candy bringing her Grammys. Like, this is a reach. And I'm not gonna lie, saying your dad was whack. Like, I don't want to wear your gold chain. Granted, let us see it. It's cool, but that's not a prize for me. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. Now, it's a prize for you and very well accolade, but it's just not giving. Anyway, Marlo wins the doggone contest. Marlo put the thing on her neck and was like, girl, you know I love a good archive piece. I be gonna turn this thing into a chain. Marlo definitely will turn that motherfucker into a chain or a watch face or something. I could see Marlo. But anyway, so after that's all said and done, so Sadie decides that now she wants to talk to doggone Drew in front of all the girls. Now listen, Drew get on my nerves. Lord knows she do. But saying this is where I gotta call you out. Why do you always feel the need to talk to this girl in front of everybody? Do you need backup? Like, I'm confused. Like, it is giving clout chasing. So now you want to talk to Drew. And Drew was like, oh, yeah, you can talk to me when you get your makeup done by my makeup artist. You know, the one that you got done for free. And then Sonya was like, girl, first of all, he touched up on my makeup, and it was $25. So Sonya was like, not Sonya, Drew was like, did you pay? And she goes, I didn't have the contact information. And Sonya, if it's $25, girl, give the boy the money. I mean, I'm thinking they makeups be like $100, $200, $300, $400. $25, girl, please, it ain't even enough to make a big fuss about. But Sonya feels like she's trying to make it seem like she don't pay her bills and she'll pay her double. Please cash app her today. Like, just cash app her. The mama jumps in and was just like, look, girl, y'all got to chill out. Miss Joyce over there saying they're over there fussing for nothing. Drew feels like she's a clout chaser. That's the reason why she invited certain people and whatnot and all this case of the thing. They go back and forth. Sonya jumps up and said, clout chaser. I am a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. I am the clout. I don't need to clout chase. All the girls are snapping and say, that's the type of read I like. And that was a good read. Because at the end of the day, Drew, you would never compete or compare. Period. Drop it with Drew. I'm just saying. So then Drew feels away, and then she brings Kenya into it and was like, Kenya, do you want to tell Candy how you felt about the panties and the little vibrators and all that stuff? And so Kenya was like, well, since Drew trying to drag me in her crap, I didn't feel like it was appropriate that you had the doggone underwears with the panties and people's husbands was there. Candy feels like, well, why you told Drew and you didn't tell me? And you acting all this and then the third when you was the lead in twat. Nah. I don't know if I've seen it or not, but I feel like I have. That is an old ass movie. That was like one of them straight to DVD movies. But knowing the people on the cover and seeing the name of it, I'm pretty sure it was pretty deep. It was pretty deep. That was a good one, Kenya. Now you a reformed hoe, let us know. If you an ex-hoe, let us know. Because even Marlo got in the comments and in the doggone confessional and said you was sleeping with everybody in Hollywood. Hell, the producer asked her to name names. Marlo said Google it when she was popping. I said, oh Lord. Mama Joyce jumps in and was just like, look, you didn't have to wear the panties. If you didn't want to have nobody control your vagina, you the only one control your vagina. And I'm like, Mama Joyce, shut up, because I'm sorry, hush up, because I respect my elders. Because you is upholding your daughter in all of this. I get it, be sexually liberated, but Candy, that shit was not appropriate. I'm sorry. Not amongst married couples, unless y'all on the swinging side of things, y'all just swinging. It is not appropriate, especially for single women in a group. Because now, when your man vibrating my panties, now you're going to want to be mad with me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just wasn't appropriate. But ultimately, Candy, you can't get mad because people don't want to do that. Like, I'm confused. How you figure you going to get mad because Marlo and Kenya, even though they all ex-hoes, some of them probably still hoes on the low, you can't get mad because they don't want Wreck-It Ralph controlling their drawers. Hell, I don't want Wreck-It Ralph controlling my drawers. Saying your husband could have did it, but that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't want Ty doing it either. No, nobody don't want that. We don't want that, please. But Candy, whatever. Like, you got to take the L on that. Stop bringing sex into every damn thing. Y'all went to see a play about black men, and you putting vibrators in people's drawers. Make it make sense. I'm sorry. It just, whatever. Candy's whole position is none of the married people had an issue with it. Well, that's fine. Give all the married people the draws. Don't give it to the single ones. Let's move on. So we move to the next scene. Marlo is walking in to this woman's expo. She's invited to come speak on behalf of her charity, or it's a nonprofit, not her charity. But she has a nonprofit for basically foster girls. And she's going up there and speak on Glam It Up. I think that's the name of it, Glam It Up. So she's back there. She tells us a little bit about her charity. A lot of celebrities have donated to it. Tyler Perry amongst a few. And basically what she does is she goes into these foster care homes and little girls. She takes them out of there and show them a different world. Show them how they can glam it up because she's been there and you know how she's made it out. Take them to 5-star restaurants. Basically show the girls, look girl, I know this is where you at. It seems like you're never going to get out of here, but you can do more and do better. At first, I won't lie. The initial thought of just taking these girls out of foster care homes to go to 5-star restaurants, I was like, that's a bit much. But I kind of get where she's going with it. You know, everybody has their way of giving back. And if that's Marlo's way, that's Marlo's way. Marlo said she the type of person, pick up the phone, they got 10 new girls, she said bring them. Like, she just basically is doing this glam it up thing and been doing it for years. I think she said since like 2008 or something like that. So Marlo gets up and give her speech to the people and do her little talk or whatever the case may be. It was very inspiring. I like that. So when Marlo leaves out, Drew decides to FaceTime her. So Drew FaceTimes her and was like, girl, like, what did I miss from last night? Why did I walk into all of this crap going on? Marlo was like, girl, I don't know what was going on. All I know is Sang was basically helping up for Kenya, and I don't understand. Drew's whole response to that is, you've been friends with us longer. You can't really shit on your old friends to help up for the new ones. Now, on the flip side, Sang is at the house, and she done called the family meeting. You know, her mama, her daddy, her sister, everybody that came downstairs to tell them about the doggone dinner last night. So as she gets them down there, she lets them know that she didn't invite, you know, all the girls to her mom event because she only wanted certain girls there because of the professional environment. So the mama goes, well, girl, I'm glad you didn't, because if you had, as I seen last night, it would have been a shit show. Exactly. So then Sanya brings up the fact that Drew feels like she was clout chasing. And then Drew was like, and I had to let her know, I'm a 4-time Olympic gold medalist. I am the clout. I don't have to clout chase. Dad go, bop, bop, bop. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's how you agree. Bop, 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 or whatever. And girl, Sanya's sister was the one who took me out the most. Sanya's sister said, first of all, you can't even compare. You wasn't even Melanie on the game. Girl, I fell through the floor. The mama said, what is the game? I fell again. I said, oh, Lord. This is the, see, I like saying your family. They here for the shit. I'm with it. I'm all here for it. But Marlo on the other side, basically still talking to Drew and said she feels like Candy should have been there, you know, as far as like for Sheree, and because they've been friends the longest and Candy could have done more. Okay, well, ultimately, this is my thing, and y'all know I don't help up for Candy. If Candy didn't hear from the horse's mouth, how she gonna then go to the girl and be like, oh yeah, I was told this, that, and the third, let me come be here for you. That's something that's very private and personal. She probably felt like she wanted Sheree to tell her first, number one. Number two, I don't think Candy really none of y'all friends for real. We all know who her friends is. Tiny, Toya, you know, Monica and them, you know, that little C-list crew. That's her friends. That's y'all not her friends. Like, y'all friends on the show. Y'all just, I don't know what you expect from her. But Sheree, stop expecting more out of these friends than out of your man Tyrone. Let's move on. So we move to the next scene. Sheree'S got her life coach coming to the house. So then he gets there and he sits down and talks to her and asks her how she's been. And she goes, you know, I've been better. And he goes, oh, wow, well, what's going on? And then she lets him know that her man got out of jail. And he goes, okay. And then she says, but he left me down in Philly looking crazy. You know, wouldn't answer the phone. He didn't do anything. Like, he really just played me, basically. So now the life coach is taken aback because he was just like, wow. And he says, you know, he got real, like, candid with her. And he said, you know, do you know what a man thinks about when he's in prison? He was like, let me paint the picture for you. When a man is in prison and he has a beautiful woman like you on the outside, you're a fantasy to him. He dreams about you. He jacks off to you. He do all these things because you're not there in his reach. He's behind four walls. So what happens is when he gets out of prison, now you're not a fantasy no more because he can reach you. You know what I mean? He says, so when he gets out of jail, the only thing to keep the fantasy going is to go film with you on the show and all this other stuff. But really, he's a man in jail. They say whatever they need to say to get out of jail because they're in jail. You know what I mean? And so he asked her how she felt about it. And she goes, well, I felt stupid, naive, like, you know, horrible that he left me there. He asked her how she felt about that. And she said she basically fled. He said, okay, so it's over. She takes a deep breath. It's not over. All the girls can rally around Sheree all you want. All us women done went through it. I guess when you come out on the other side of the tunnel of shit and you realize that they got a whole bunch of women on the other side, it's hard when you're trying to reach and pull them through and they just don't want to reach out. Period. So the life coach was just like, so you must really still love this man. Yeah, she still love him. And for the life of me, Sheree, you too old for this. You are too beautiful, too successful, and too old to be running behind a goddamn jailbird. I don't care what nobody say. You are belittling yourself and you are minimizing your ability and yourself as a woman to go stoop down under the ground to a goddamn prisoner, an ex-con. I don't care who feel the way about it. You're playing yourself. I don't even blame Tyrone at this point. I blame you. Either way, the life coach lets her know that she needs to basically focus more on something that she needs to focus on for her. And she brings up She by Sheree. Girl, She by Sheree been coming around since 2008. The girl claimed she had all these products. Everybody knew about it, but she was never able to get it out there. Because you so busy worried about men. Listen, peen come a dime a dozen. Hell, sometimes it's on sale. You can get 2 for a dime. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know if that makes sense. I just had to say that back to myself. But y'all get the point. You are putting yourself on the side and stuff that you need to be dealing with for a dude in jail. Girl, get your life. So anyway, she's going to focus on She by Sheree and get She by Sheree up and running. Girl, it's been 20 years. People going to be done raise a whole nother generation of churn before you doggone get She by Sheree up and running. But the coach says basically no more dating men in jail. Child, please. She probably pen paling as we speak. We move to the next scene. Candy and Todd is decluttering their guest house. So Candy decides, I'm going to declutter my guest house, go through these clothes, and I'm going to give them to, what's her name? Marlo's nonprofit. So she sits down with Todd. They go through some stuff. They kind of making jokes about the clothes. And Todd goes, well, okay, fine. Is she going to come get him or do we have to, like, drop him off? So she FaceTimes Marlo and asks Marlo, like, hey, how do I donate? I got some stuff that, you know, I have that was in my guest house. And then Marlo lets her know that we don't really do hand-me-downs. Like, you know, this is the thing. Initially, when Marlo said that, I was just like, what you mean you don't do hand-me-downs? But when Marlo explained in the confessional that basically she being in a foster care, she remembered them dropping off bags of, you know, clothes that people wore, and it just didn't make her have a good feeling that, you know, she was wearing other people's stuff, and she wanted to instill in these girls that they can wear nicer things and designer things. I get the concept. I get it. But Marlo, I can't even be mad at her. That's how she running her nonprofit. Candy feels like, girl, please, some of this stuff I wore once. My hand-me-downs is different. Well, you know what, Candy? You are absolutely right. go ahead on down there to Plato's Closet or the Goodwill and drop that shit off. If it's so high fashion and high, you see, that's the problem with people who got money. Y'all want to give it to people who other people who have money. Them clothes, all that, go drop them off at the Goodwill. Go do that. Go to a Salvation Army. Go bring them to a doggone shelter yourself. Stop giving money and stuff to rich people. Period. That's just my opinion. So if she don't want the hand-me-downs, hell, don't give them to her. Anyway, but Candace says she ain't worried about it. She ain't tripping. We move to the next scene. Sheree meets up with Kenya at this coffee shop because Kenya wants to talk to Sheree about basically how Marlo's been moving. So Kenya tells Sheree that she's been having issues with her business. So she has not been able to fulfill her orders with Walmart, but the problem is she gets her bottles from China. And she's having an issue with shipping and all this stuff, and she doesn't have a team. She's the one doing it all by herself, and this is her legacy. She needs to put more focus and time in on that. And I'm like, light bulb, Sheree, didn't your life coach just tell you to do the same? And then Sheree brings up the fact that, you know what, you're right, because life coach just told me that, and I need to get She by Sheree up and running, but it's just, I'm a lone person. And she was like, the problem is I have these men that come around and help me, and they get me where I need to be or almost there. The next thing you know, they want to date me. Like Kenya said, easy fix, girl. We can get you some professional women around you. Like, you hiring all the men. I'm confused. You the one hiring them. But I felt like that was just a way of Sheree blaming somebody else again, instead of taking responsibility. Girl, look, it's been too long for She by Sheree. Like Kenya said, everybody knows about it, but nobody ain't never seen it. You had the fashion show with no fashions. You got to get your stuff up out there, and if you don't, it'll never get there. So then that moves Kenya on to talk about the whole thing with Marlo. She feels like Marlo is trying to draw a wedge between her and a lot of the girls. Basically trying to make her seem like she's a bad guy. And Kenya gets in her confessional and was saying, like, listen, me and Marlo did not have the best relationship, in the past. She was like, but, ultimately, we finally getting on a good foot, and here she go with the BS again. So then Sheree says, well, I was under the impression that Drew and Marlo was the one who did all of the stuff. Kenya goes, no. All Drew did was come and pick up the stuff from me. Now, they did do the flashback. Drew did make the cupcakes and all that stuff. Yes, you financially supported. But ultimately, if you were sick, you were sick. That's all there is. I can't even put that fault on Kenya because Kenya was the one you called when Tyrone left your ass down there at the cafe outside looking crazy. And Kenya was willing to do whatever it is to get you back to a place where you can be okay. So don't put that on Kenya. Just everybody, see, this is what drives me with Sheree and women like Sheree. Y'all put all these stipulations on these women and you don't put none of them on these men. You raise your sons like this and they grow up to be the men you date who do you the way you do. I'm tired of y'all. We got to excommunicate you women. Stop putting all this stuff on these women. Put it on these men. Make men be accountable to you. Make men be responsible for you. Make men do all the things you want your friends to do. Sheree blows me with the way she's doing this. It just drives me. You too old for that. You're almost 50 years old and you still hadn't caught on to what the hell's going on with these men. Get on my damn nerves. Oh, I just had to throw that in there. But anyway, Sheree understands and now she hears Kenya's side and she's fine with it. You better be. Because you don't have a choice. That dude left you outside. And I'm going to keep on that. He left you outside. But Kenya basically reads Marlo and says she mad because I look better than her sick than she do when she's on her best day. Ooh, read. Go ahead on reading, Rainbow. I ain't mad at you. We move to the next scene. Kenya is texting the girls to get them ready for the outing with Sheree. Candy is out of town doing her lines and practicing for her show where she's going to be down there doing the girl on girl scene. She's all for that. And Marlo was in her house cooking and they all getting ready, whatever. So we at the Doggone event. Drew arrives first. And then shortly after Drew, Sonya arrives. This is my problem. Boom. You guys are the only two there. Y'all greet each other, hug each other. Now you can have the conversation, Sonya. You don't have to wait until everybody's around. You have ample space and opportunity to have that conversation right now. But guess what? You don't. Because you don't really want to talk to that girl. You just want to make a spectacle. And I hate that I'm helping up for Drew. Because Drew get on my nerves. But you're wrong in this, Sonya. So then Marlo shows up. After Marlo shows up, all the other girls started coming in, but Marlo lets the girls that were there know that basically she's having an issue with her sister. Her sister got pulled over for a minor traffic violation, went to jail, but the judge realized she had a mental issue. But the only issue is the judge won't let her out. He won't give her bail because he doesn't want her to go to an outpatient facility. He's preferring, or basically saying she has to go to an inpatient facility. But the sister don't want to do that. And so now she's in jail and she's trying to figure that whole thing out. And listen, I deal with a nephew who has mental health issues with the same type of situations. My heart goes out for you. I know exactly how you feel. My nephew, I literally was going through a text back and forth with him last night, having an episode. I understand and I empathize with you, and I know exactly what you're going through. Mental health awareness is very real. I just want to throw that in there. Anyway, so Marlo then says that the sister wants to take it to trial, but the problem is she's going to lose. And if she loses, she's never going to see her boys again, or at least for a long period of time. She's trying to make sure her sister makes the right decision, but she's not in her right mind, obviously. And when people are going through mental health issues, you know, and having those type of moments, there's no talking to them. There isn't. It just isn't. So I'm praying for Marlo's sister and the boys. So Kenya walks in. Marlo tells Kenya she looks good, and Kenya was just like, yeah, thank you, girl. But Sheree arrives and goes to give her a hug, and she said, don't get too close, I'm still sick. And I'm like, Kenya, why is you outside? Go inside. So Sheree says she feels good to get out, and they sit down. So they sit down at the table, they get ready to toast or whatever. And Sheree says Candy can't be here because she's out, you know, out of town doing her scenes for the show or whatever she's filming for. They kind of do a flip over to Candy, and Candy look good, girl. And you was killing them lines, girl. Go ahead on. So then Marlo brings up the fact that Candy was trying to give her the hand-me-downs for her nonprofit. That's where it comes off very elitist and very like, I'm here and you're there, when we all know that that's not the case. Marlo, I don't think you needed to bring that up. You just wanted to shade Candy, and I get it. Y'all don't see the play from Marlo. Marlo is literally trying to make Candy work for her money. Basically, what Marlo said was, you done skated all these seasons without no drama. I'm bringing the drama till you do. And that's all she's doing by keep bringing Candy up, period. That's my opinion. I just see how she's doing it. But Kenya basically feels like she's doing too much. She says, girl, look, no, Marlo says, I don't want my girls to get picked on because I know when I was in foster care, I got picked on for wearing hand-me-downs. Kenya's whole thing is, girl, we've all been picked on for wearing hand-me-downs. It is what it is. You just overdoing this thing. It's really not that deep. You're really basically putting 20 on 10. She also says it's the same thing when you tried to bring up the fact that I wasn't sick when I really was because I couldn't show up for Sheree. Now, this brings them into a whole doggone argument. And she says, listen, I was sick, but you talking about me behind my back, trying to make it seem like I wasn't. That's not what friends do. Like, I can't believe you would do this. Marlo's whole thing is, I'm a Southern girl. I'm the type of person, sick or not, you going to show up and you going to be there. And then Kenya responds, was just like, girl, you tried it, but none of your stuff is landing. And then Marlo goes and says that wig is not landing. And girl, when I looked at Kenya's wig, I said, oh Lord. And you know what was so worse about it? Kenya even had to agree. Kenya was like, yeah, you're right, it's not. I don't feel good. When you read Kenya and Kenya agree with the read, you know you got her. Boy, Kenya said, you're right, I don't feel good. Girl, I was weak. But listen, Marlo and Kenya, I love them going back and forth. I like that. I want them to be friends. Don't get me wrong, but I love them going back and forth. They are golden. When I tell you they golden, I love it. So Marlo gets in her doggone confessional and was like, I don't understand Kenya. Kenya got a head full of hair. Healthy hair. And she puts this damn wig on looking like a damn Mary Kate salesman. And girl, I died again. My mama used to sell Mary Kate. She said she's selling these products and she got that damn horrible wig on, shifted to the side. Girl, listen, I'm literally crying tears. I gotta stop. This is a mess. I love them reading each other back and forth. But yeah, that was... Basically, Kenya said she feel like she shouldn't be talking about it behind her back. And Marlo was like, girl, look, me and Kenya got our thing going back and forth, but at the end of the day, I'm going to still check on her, make sure she good. Like, that's just what it is. Girl, Kenya ain't trying to hear that from you. She ain't trying to hear it. So, Sheree brings up the fact that Candy wasn't there again and said she knew her the longest and was like, felt like she should have been there. And, you know, shut up, Sheree. Shut up. Shut up. Doggone, Sonya jumps in and was like, well, I understand, Candy, because I heard about it, but I didn't want to bring it to you until you told me. I didn't want to just jump the gun and be like, oh, yeah, girl, I heard your man left you. What's up? You good? You know what I mean? Sheree understands that. We not coddling Sheree behind Tyrone. We not doing it. Sorry, we not doing it. Sonya then goes on to say that she wants to make up with Marlo and who was it? And Sheree. And yeah, she wants to make up with Marlo and Sheree by inviting them out to this event she has with Nike. It's in Portland. And she wants those two girls to come because she didn't invite them to the mommy thing. Now, Drew decides to interrupt her and say, wait, you invited me to that. You gonna uninvite me now? And she goes, I never invited you. So she goes back to try to talk about the doggone event. And then Drew can't stop talking. She just can't shut up. So now her and Sonya get into it back and forth, girl. She's over there telling Sonya, you wrong because you invited me to that too, and you can't keep inviting me and uninviting me to stuff. Somebody asked Sonya, did she invite her? And she said, I talked about it or I brought it up. Sonya, did you invite her? Because if you invited her and uninvited her, then you're wrong. Did you invite her? I hate that I have to take Drew's side, but did you invite her? Because I feel like you did. I feel like you definitely invited her. You just didn't say nothing else about it. And now you inviting them girls in front of her. That's just my feeling. But Drew, you get on my nerves too. Because I don't know. You just get on my nerves. Even when you write, you get on my nerves. I don't know why. But Sonya says she can't communicate with Drew. And she hates that because she feels like Drew's not able to communicate because how Wreck-It Ralph be gaslighting her. Touche. Either way, they goes back and forth. Sonya was like, you don't want this, you don't want this. They try to separate them. Sheree gets in the middle. Kenya is pulling Drew. Drew nipples is out. Somebody tell her nipples out. She said, it's my new nipples. You know, so on and so forth. They separate the girls. So now when Kenya goes to check on doggone Drew, she asked Drew, she didn't even ask Drew. Kenya goes to check on Drew. Now, on the flip side, the girls are up there. Marlo's excited that she's invited, but let's say, you know, look, bitch, don't uninvite me. You done invited me, don't uninvite me. And then Sonya said, well, just don't do nothing to get on my nerves. And then Marlo said, don't worry about it. We're going to be the best of friends till we get to this trip. I ain't going to trip. Don't you trip. We trying to trip. So on the flip side, when Kenya goes down there to check on Drew, Drew was like, so help me understand what's going on. Why is it that she's going from 0 to 100 and I didn't even do nothing? Kenya was like, no, I'm watching this. You did do something. You continue to make faces and you continue to interrupt the girl. And that's why she goes off like that. Girl, Drew said that's her problem. I ain't got time for it. Well, you know what? Bye, Drew. Bye. Take that church dress and that horrible bag and out the door you go. Bye, Drew. Bye. Because you don't want nobody to tell you nothing, even when you're wrong. And I've been helping her for you this whole time. Bye. We don't want to hear it. So Kenya goes back upstairs, girl. The girls is all getting ready for this doggone trip, or they all talking about it, or whatever the case may be. We move to the next scene. Marlo and the boys are going to do a video call with the sister. They're trying to convince the sister to not take this to trial and go to inpatient instead of outpatient, because that's literally the only way she's going to be there. Marlo feels bad because she has to now use the boys to try to convince their mama to basically not take it to trial and go into inpatient, care. And she feels away because it's very reminiscent of her saying that she had to go talk to her mama in jail and all this stuff and out the foster homes. And she hates that she had to get the children involved, but she understands the process. Okay, so now they calls the lady on FaceTime, or Marlo's sister. She said immediately she knew that her sister wasn't in her right mind. She was having an episode. She said because she was talking to her crazy, cussing her out. She didn't want to hear nothing and basically hung up the doggone phone. Well, when Marlo calls back, the people said she don't want to talk to her. She threw a doggone chair at the phone and was like, I'm done. I don't want to talk to her. Now, this causes Marlo and the boys to cry because Marlo feels like, man, my sister really needs help and she does not want to get the help she needs. That is very, very common when people who suffer with mental health have episodes. My nephew is literally going through the exact same thing as we speak. He doesn't want to get help. But let me give y'all another flip side of why they don't want to get help. Because a lot of times in these facilities, I don't know if you guys know this, but your local coroners, they own the mental health facilities. And a lot of times what they do is they throw these people in these facilities, they medicate them up, they give them some sort of doggone therapy and talk to them a couple of times a week, maybe once a week if they lucky. You know what I mean? And they just leave them there. And basically the only way to get out is you got to continuously take this medication. Is that real help? No. If I'm a sane person, then I would go crazy going in there. I get it. That's why I struggle with mental health awareness and people getting the help they need, because a lot of times the help you need are not in those facilities. Although a lot of times some people need to be in those facilities, if it makes sense. I just wanted to add that piece to it. My nephew hates it. He hates the medication because there are a boatload of drawbacks. A boatload of drawbacks to the medication they give you. A lot of times it makes them anxious. They can't sleep. They can't eat. It's a whole bunch of stuff that makes it worse than what you was even going through the episodes. I know it helps the people around them, but the medication a lot of times is not good. I'm not trying to go against medication. I don't want y'all to come for me. I'm just telling y'all what I know from my experience. And I have a degree in psychology. Okay? I'm just telling y'all what I know from my experience, not from my degree, from my experience, okay? I understand both ends. I understand Marlo because I'm a Marlo, and I understand the patient because my nephew is the patient. I've seen it. I've been in it. I've been inside the facilities. I've done it all. I get it. Please be up on your mental health awareness, guys. Please, that's all I'm saying. Don't listen to nothing I say. You ain't got to take it for nothing. Do your own research. Anyway, I'm hoping Marlo gets all the help she needs for her sister. This is going to be an uphill battle. It's a long battle. And hell, it looks like we're going through it together. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. I'm sorry I had to get deep on the mental health stuff, but I'm huge on that. That's just my thing. Sorry, guys. But please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you hoes later. Bye.